Thank you for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News, and today we're going to be talking about healthcare for seniors and how we're all going to get along better with our families by bringing people into our lives that are going to help us. Our first guest over here to my right is Keven. Pronounce your last name?
Bennema.
Bennema is the president and CEO of Charter Senior Living, and we're going to be talking about a healthcare facility for seniors here right off of Corway. And we have Alberto Perez. All right, tell us, Alberto, what type of work that you've been doing recently?
So recently, I mean, I've been in the development space now for about 15 years. Historically, we've done everything from conventional office to multifamily to student housing, but we've spent the last 3 or 4 years really concentrating on the healthcare sector. And by that, I mean concentrating on doing the right medical office buildings. We've recently now embarked on the senior living space as well. The project that we're discussing on Corway and 92nd Avenue is actually a very dynamic mix of a medical office building and a senior living component, which we feel very strongly about as far as both uses working well amongst each other.
So we know Miami-Dade County has a lot of people over the age of 50, all right? And I want to thank Miami-Dade County government for getting everybody over the age of 65 vaccinated. And it really, when you look at what the county did to pay attention to those people that needed more attention, all right, was phenomenal. And the percentage of people that have been vaccinated over that age group have been great. We knew there was a problem back when about providing great health care. Let's talk about the contemporary, all right? It's a facility that is in the midst of being built right now. How far along is that construction?
The construction is probably about almost 70% completed at this point. And as Alberto said, what's so unique about this project is it offers a lifestyle that has what I'll call opportunities for maybe functional medicine right on site. So we have collaborative relationships with one of the largest Medicare Advantage providers in Miami, WellMed, Optum, who will be a tenant. We have some other what I'll call complementary medicine tenants in there. And basically it's all under one roof. So as somebody pulls in right into basically under the porte-cochere, if you will, you get out to the left to the contemporary, you get out to the right to the complementary medicine areas. So it is the lifestyle will be very Miami. Certainly it will cater, I think, more toward a Latin customer, Hispanic customer, which quite honestly I think is very underserved in that area. And but we are open to anybody who wants to be a part of what I'll call a lifestyle that promotes health, wellness, independence, and allows you. And I will say on the dining side, we're going to have a dining program in the community. I don't want to give all the secrets away, but I think the dining program is going to be it's going to rival some very good restaurants.
It's going to be dining and dancing.
Yeah,
maybe
well, that's the goal.
Right. So Charter Senior Living has multiple locations throughout. Is it mostly throughout Florida?
So Charter Senior Living was started about 5.5 years ago, and we are technically based out of Naperville, Illinois. I've personally been in the senior living industry for 28 years. I started out as a caregiver back before senior housing was what certainly it has become. And I had a lot of good opportunities to learn from some people who really kind of humbled my approach. And I knew years ago that this was an industry that I wanted to get into. And over the years, held various management positions, ran a very large company in Chicago prior to starting Charter, very much of a corporation. And I just saw an opportunity where corporations or corporate senior living distracts from what really is going on in our communities. And most senior living companies that are based from a corporate standpoint, it's more about the corporation than the actual communities.
So Alberto, so you're building this facility.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, your company is building this.
Correct.
How many years experience in the healthcare arena? And why don't you tell our viewers what type of buildings and facilities you built?
So I started my career in the office sector. Started with a large developer out of Texas. Over the years, I've developed about 700,000 square feet of conventional office. My experience in the healthcare sector now is just over 450,000 square feet of true medical and healthcare office setting. The area of the senior living space had intrigued me for a very long time. For me, I chose to embark on more of the independent side because I took my grandfather, who's 95 years old, as a core example, and I believe that there's a generation that refuses to what I like to say, let the old man in, and they like to remain active and really concentrate on continuing to live a life of wellness and of health. So I really looked for the right opportunity to do my first true senior product for many years. The opportunity to acquire this site in Westchester came across our desk about 2.5 years ago. We purchased the site from AT&T. We had to take it down an entire entitlement process,
Yep.
which was a great process, and working with Miami-Dade County was phenomenal. But I always knew that the vision there was to do and give a platform to the senior population that wanted to live an independent life, that wanted to live a life of health and wellness. So I'm glad that we're being able to offer that offering at the Contemporary.
So you're working with Charter to
Correct.
make this a great facility.
Correct.
Now, a lot of our viewers come from the south side of Miami-Dade County. Would you tell the folks what you did on 87th Avenue?
Correct.
All right,
So-
tell people.
So that's one of our most recent
Yes.
healthcare facilities. So we just finished a beautiful product called Med Square Health, which is a 268,000 square foot medical office building, true medical office building. 100% of our tenants are specialists, ranging from gastro health to Dental Care Alliance to my OBGYN. Vitas is also a big tenant of ours. So our vision there again was to fulfill a void in the market, which was to deliver a true Class A medical office building with an array of specialists that again was well demanded in the marketplace.
So that's 87th and what street?
87th Avenue and Southwest 94th Street.
So it's just south of Baptist, which is sort of across the street.
Correct. It's
All right.
on the south side of Baptist
And
Hospital.
it's a beautiful building. And folks, drive by if you want to know and want to get an idea of what's inside Alberto's head and what the Contemporary is going to be like. So tell us when people sign up, all right? Tell us about that process and why they're going to go there versus somewhere else.
Well, I think that the product is going to be a true differentiator in the market for a couple reasons. I think number one, the collaborative relationships we will have with the complementary medicine, the Medicare Advantage provider, WellMed. I also think the layout of the community is also going to be attractive. It's basically a 2-story community. So there's really not a lot of elevators to negotiate or stairs to negotiate.
That's wonderful.
It is on an intersection that I believe the traffic pattern is probably 50,000 people a day, somewhere in that range. We have a programming and amenity, what I'll call lifestyle plan, where you can live the life that you want to live, but have the opportunity to have healthcare services available. This is not a licensed community. It's not an assisted living. It's not a memory care. This is a vibrant, active, independent living environment where we will be offering, I mean, literally the dining program will of course we'll have a bartender. We'll program around what residents want. There will be a lot of history, culture tied into our programming. And I think that many of our initial depositors, which by the way, we just opened our sales trailer this past week, and we have 2 fantastic what I'll call managers, Patty Duran is our executive director. Patty is literally from the neighborhood.
Yes.
And Berta Ramirez, who's our director of sales and marketing. Berta and Patty have worked together in the past. Both are bilingual. Both are just so passionate about what we're trying to accomplish, and they're bringing up ideas to us.
So I know them. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not, I've met them. They are so caring. It's just unbelievable when you're there and you can feel the love that they have. All right. And it's like, wow. All right. Truly. All right. And I met them a couple of years ago, and it's like, I'm delighted that they're there. Tell us about the rest of your team.
So so essentially at the community, we will have a director of dining services. We will have an executive chef at the community. We will have a director of facilities maintenance. You will have what I'll call like an administrative management person who basically handles the hiring and all of the what I'll call functions related to AP and AR. The one unique position we're going to have is within our programming department. So we'll have activities, programming specialists that will be responsible for a robust programming package every day for residents, whatever they choose. And many times we need to encourage folks that, hey, these are things you need to try.
It sounds like a cruise ship.
It's very similar.
It's
Alberto.
It's the experience.
Where's the library?
So there is a library.
What avenue is that?
So the Dade County Library is just to the west of us.
A couple blocks, right?
So we're on the corner of Coral Way and 92nd. The library is on Coral Way and 94th. So it's 2 blocks to the west of us.
They can go for a walk.
But we will have our own library as well as part of our amenity.
So when people can go, whatever age that happens to be, the more that's available to them that they don't have to go hunt to do it, all right, the more likely they are to be active in it. Just show up, and this is what we can do for you. Okay. So what caused you again to pick the site to build it and to work with Charter? What was that dynamics?
So the site, obviously, I felt when I first saw the site, it was in my business. You almost go with a lot of your gut check, if you will. Ultimately, you always run a process and see what your highest and best use is, et cetera. But I just, from the beginning, always felt that a mixed use campus combining the medical office component with the senior component was going to be the highest and best use because of the demographic and because of the location. There's a pride of ownership in Westchester, where the homeowner has been there for many, many years, loves the area, loves where they live. They feel that for whatever reason, the time is coming where they should either transition out of their home for one reason or another, deed the home over to a son or a daughter or a grandchild, but stay in the area where they've spent the past 35, 40 years. So again, there was a pride of ownership that I just knew was there. Being raised in Miami, I just had a feeling that was the right choice to make. So when we came across and started working with Keven and his team at Charter, ultimately we ran a process and I interviewed a handful of established operators. Keven, by far, again, going with my gut check, was by far the most suitable team and CEO that I wanted to work with. I've always prided myself in aligning myself with the right established groups, but dealing directly with the risk taker as I am. And Keven and I, from day one, hit it off. And I always felt that, again, going back to my gut check, they were the right group to lead this effort forward. On a moving forward basis, we do have the want and the foresight to be able to continue to do deals and want to do deals in the senior sector side. And Keven and his team by far is going to be our partner and forming a great alliance. I'm very excited about the years to come and delivering not only the contemporary in Miami, but contemporaries throughout South Florida and other parts of the state.
That's terrific. Keven, people want to find out a little bit more, they could go to on the website, thecontemporarymiami.com. Correct. Facebook, you're very active on there. Correct. I was looking at it this morning. Congratulations on doing that. So is there an estimated on the young side, what do you who's your target audience for this? All right.
So we want to hold ourselves out to, again, we want all individuals, meaning all, and I'll use the term, I got to be careful how I say this, seniors, because it depends on how, certain people define that.
Or how you feeling that moment.
Or how you feel in that moment, because there could be active seniors that, dare I say, are, in their mid 60s or in their, late 90s. And I think that this lifestyle caters to, it's really not going to, obviously it's not meant for, people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, but we want to offer a lifestyle where, if you want the ability to have an amenity package, a dining package, and if you want care literally available to you, even though, again, we're not a licensed facility, there's nothing like it.
So there are going to be medical facilities that are going to be in the immediate neighborhood, like walk, like 100 feet.
Correct.
Or
Not even
or less.
across the driveway.
Yes.
So I pick my doctors, the ones that matter, but not a lot. How far do I have to go to see the doctor? And then as you get a little bit older, you go, all right, here's the regular checkup. And you realize that people want this circle, this dynamics of, this is where I want to go. I want to be independent. I don't want to have to drive if I don't have to. It'd be great. So I'm going to go see the doctor today. And we know when we've watched the healthcare facilities, where when people are going to the doctor, if they get an opportunity to talk to the other person, it so happens that they're meeting and they're socializing and everything. And by the way, I'm going to my doctor today too. All right, what's wrong with you? Type of approach. All right. So this facility, when do you anticipate it's going to be open?
So the first phase that will be open, which is the medical office component, will be open by the end of this year, end of December. WellMed is shooting to open towards the end of this year, beginning of January, and the Contemporary will be open by mid-March.
And what's the term that you call it? Rooms, apartments? What would you call that living space?
I think the appropriate term is apartment.
Okay.
These units it's basically a monthly lease or a monthly payment. Every month you pay basically a rental payment. Our apartments are, I think, another differentiator of ours. Our units are going to be up to, I believe, 1,200 square feet. And they will have full kitchens. They will have up to 2 bedrooms, possibly 2.5, 3, depending on kind of how we can configure some units. We will have a swimming pool on the second floor, and units will be available off of the swimming pool. We'll have units on the first floor that have outdoor access, so we're very pet friendly, and so that's another unique feature. But residents can literally live in a very spacious accommodation, and as you had mentioned earlier, have access to an amenity package like as soon as they walk out of their door. And I think the way that we are going to be partnering with WellMed and the other complementary what I'll call medicine providers, our team and their teams are all going to work together to not only what I'll call cross market, but also figure out a way to enhance the experience of our residents at the Contemporary, so they can utilize all these services. And a lot of that comes through education, and just our ability to offer a package on site that's just so unique.
And they don't have to worry anymore about fixing the roof or skyrocketing insurance costs or mowing the backyard.
No.
It's a worry-free, maintenance-free lifestyle. To Kevin's point, the rental fee includes the 3 meals a day, the dining option. It includes housekeeping. It includes your utilities, your internet services. So again, it's
And when they have a problem, they
worry-free
don't have to call their cable provider.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
So to that point, we actually partnered with a very interactive software company called Senior TV. that basically is a very simplistic telecommunications platform, which covers everything from entertainment to communication with a family, communication with the staff. So again, it's a worry-free lifestyle that we feel will be complementary to many people going into that life.
So we deal with hundreds and hundreds of people and businesses, and one of the things I recognize, if you will, if this is the internet all the way up here and everything is there, people think that I'm here and I'm like here, down at the bottom, all right? But I realize that I know more than like 95% of everybody else, and my frustration level is peaked every day and trying to figure out how to do whatever it happens to be. And I don't throw it on the phone, all right, I put it down, all right, and then have this conversation in my head about it. So you've made it so simple that it's going to be really easy for people to do that. And I know when people get older or they just never learned it, all right, that nobody wants to get frustrated,
Correct.
right? So tell us about if you would, if somebody wants to communicate with the front desk, they run an apartment there, and they just pick up the phone and call somebody.
Yep, we have.
Wow, that's an amazing thing.
So we will have I'll call it a concierge, 24 hours a day. So if you even just want to have a conversation with somebody, because we realize that there are isolation issues sometimes that even as residents move into the community, we still need to make sure that they're participating. And because it's not just the resident. Many times their families are going to be involved in their decisions, and so we want to make sure that there's always an opportunity for socialization, the sense of security. Certainly we're not going to have security guards at a community like this, but the 24-hour concierge allows for more of a peace of mind. Doors will be locked at certain amount of the evening, key fobs and all appropriate security measures. But absolutely, if a resident wants to speak to somebody, there's somebody available.
You bring up a really good point. Certainly the last 2 years has not helped people very much. They feel isolated, they feel depressed, they feel anxious, unsure about the future. And 700,000 people, moms, dads, uncles, caregivers gone, a lot of suicide, a lot of drug overdoses, a lot of alcohol abuse skyrocketing. We've interviewed a lot of mental health care providers. And what we realize is the isolation occurs because of this. And as people get a little hard of hearing, not me, what? And that causes isolation, that you're sitting with somebody, you don't hear them anymore. So you just nod your head and then you go away. So we understand that that's an issue. So I hope that you have people that can check on folks and be there for them and for their families. And certainly when people move to a new place, they get really nervous. So what's that transition like? You've been in the field for many, many years.
What's exciting is that much of senior living is always, and I'll specifically categorize it into an assisted living or a memory care environment. That's always very need driven. This concept is, like you had mentioned earlier, this is like this cruise ship concept that we want to offer an independence, a lifestyle package, where it's this one-stop shop concept where you can be as vibrant if you want, and even if you don't, we're gonna make you vibrant, and we're gonna offer a dining. I mean, many issues that we see as people age relate directly back to how they're eating and they're dining. And our dining program is going to be to a certain extent, it could be therapeutic, but it's also, we're going to have an executive chef. We already have examples of some of the menus that we're looking at, and it's pretty unbelievable.
So certainly when you hear the term break bread, that's where we get to that point. Yes, we were together, and I've been doing a lot of that recently. All right. So, and we get it. That's where it's really done, in sharing with your family or newfound friends, and get comfortable enough. So that's, as you point out, that's an important part of this. But if somebody says, I don't want that food, I would like to bring in my own food.
The beautiful part of it is that the 3 meals a day are included in their rent. And even though they'll have a full kitchen, so a full kitchen will be available. If they decide that they want to bring their own food, we are absolutely open to that. But we want to discourage that because we want them to try our food. And if there's a problem with our food, then we darn well will fix it. But the food is going to be a differentiator. But yes, people could bring in food if they decide they would.
So at home, when our refrigerator is full and my wife says we're going to get food to come in, she says it's going to be really good food. I don't say anything. It's almost as good as yours, Susan. But so we know in Dade County, Miami-Dade County's been paying attention to the seniors, all right, and seniors, whatever age group that is, all right, and Commissioner Javier Soto, I hope that he's at your grand opening out there. I'm sure he will be. And
we have a great relationship with Commissioner Soto. He's been instrumental in the success of this project, and we maintain in close communication with the commissioner, and actually had breakfast with him about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, it's great.
He's
a little plug for him.
He's
served Miami-Dade County since 1993. Prior to that, he was state senator. Prior to that, a state representative, and he loves horse country where I live. So thank you, Senator, for that. And the area of Westchester, it does have this sense of family that's there. And my father's office used to be there in the early 60s at 187th Avenue and Coral Way, and the shopping center is back there. And interesting enough, 40 years later, I meet some who became friends that used to live around the corner from there. I mean, like behind there. And so we know that area is really prime for this massive improvement that's going on. So my hats off to both of you for making that happen there. So looking past the local contemporary, all right, what are some of the other moves that the charter is going to make in other senior living facilities?
Well, getting back to Alberto's earlier comment, with his experience in these kinds of developments and his passion for kind of taking these projects to the next level, we have some other very unique opportunities that we're looking at to kind of take the contemporary kind of to the next level, and maybe look at developing a community that has more of a continuum, meaning more of a complement of assisted living, possibly memory care, along with the medical office component. So there's some very attractive markets that we think a project like that would be successful in. I think that more specific to Charter, Charter is a company that's very focused on culture. Our mission is to enhance the human spirit. We do not have a corporate infrastructure of any kind, so there's no corporate office, there's no mothership, and that's intentional. I think as you see some of what has occurred from this pandemic, like you had mentioned, isolation and things of that nature, companies that are visible, companies that walk shoulder to shoulder with their employees, companies that have supported communities through those tough times are the ones that employers or employees want to work for. There's never been a more difficult time that I can remember that in staffing and it's not just senior housing, but it's just about every industry, in attracting and retaining good employees. And I think culture is one of the big draws as to why people want to really get back to feeling a part of a family environment.
So there was a HMO years ago was being built, and every day the old fellas, Cuban fellas, would go there, and they would play pinochle and have pastelitos, and big business people really, yes sir, really liked it. And then so another company comes in and does away with that, and then it went away because people were there because they wanted to have that culture. They wanted to feel good about it. They wanted to meet, talk to their friends. And I went to several facilities and watched that happen. It was amazing. It was like you were teenagers, right? Just meeting a new girl, if you would. If we could get to the size of the facility, how many apartments are there?
85.
Okay. You could have gone higher, right?
So no, I mean, the high limitation in that part of the county is 2 stories. So I mean, we're very responsible developers in nature. So we want to make sure that whatever we deliver is obviously of top quality, but also cohesiveness with the surrounding neighborhoods.
So when you look at a building that's not intimidating, that you feel comfortable with, that visually it's like, okay, I get it, all right, rather than
Correct.
like this, because I just get a headache just thinking about that. So my hat's off to you and for understanding the Miami market. And Keven, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. Alberto, thank you very much.
Thank
And
you,
folks,
Bruno.
if you want to know more about
Thank you very much.
the Contemporary, you can go on Google, you can find it, or go directly to the contemporarymiami.com
Correct.
or Facebook. Phone number is available. They got a great website. It's very relaxing website. So my hat's off to your webmasters.
Thank you.
Again, we're going to look right over to which camera? Right over there. And I would like Alberto, 30 seconds. Tell some young person, all right, about their future, all right? Imagine talking to a 20-year-old when maybe it's your son, maybe you're a teacher, all right? Got 30 seconds to encourage them to do something. And Keven, you're next.
Very, very simple. For the future generations, have passion and have patience. At the end of the day, with passion comes everything else as far as monetary gain, etc. But passion, patience, and hard work pays off.
And Keven?
I really believe that this next generation needs to focus on paying their dues. There is a sense that that everything needs to happen now, and I can tell you there's tremendous value in paying your dues, being mentored, being open to new ideas. Those are traits and things that I think get lost in certainly these times. But and again, find what you love to do and call it work, because we're all here for a reason.
Terrific. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
Yep.
Tommy, thank you, folks. Again, thank you for joining. This is Live with Miami's Community News. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.